Hey guys, this is Aga with another episode in the Winning the Complex Sales series. Today, I'm going to talk about the 5 things you absolutely positively must do when you're sitting down in the room with senior people. In my last video, I talked about the 3 most commonly made mistakes that people make when sitting down with, say, CXOs or senior executives. The 3 mistakes were, number 1, being underprepared, number 2, not having the right attitude when you walk into the room, and number 3, not thinking through the issue at all levels. Now, after I shot that video, a couple of people came back to me and a discussion started emerging on LinkedIn and via email, and they said, Ago, thank you so much for this. This is really helpful, but can you also talk a little bit about the things that we must do instead of what we shouldn't do when we're sitting down with these people? So here we go. 5 things you must do when you're sitting down with senior executives. Number 1 is, I know it's intimidating. It seems like a big deal. It's a very senior person in a large corporation. They control a budget. They can, seemingly snap their fingers and whoops, you've got a $100,000 deal. The first thing you really want to do is you want to focus on the person, not just the title. Surprise, senior executives are people just like you and me. They have hopes, dreams, fears, they have families, they have hobbies, they have things they enjoy, maybe they like art, maybe they like something else, and they're bombarded by business the whole day. So when someone comes in and focuses on them as a person, you immediately stand out. Now you want to be careful with this. You want to sense a little bit what they're like, and maybe they're all business-like too, so then you don't want to go overboard. But generally speaking, it's a good idea to talk to them from person to person. Now the second thing you want to be doing when you're in the room is you want to talk about the whole issue. Now by the whole issue, I basically mean 3 things. Number 1, you want to talk about what we call afflictions. Afflictions are the kinds of things they want to get away from. Commonly they're called pains in a lot of sales training. So they're the things they want to get away from. The second thing you want to talk about is aspirations. Where do they want to move towards? And generally speaking, I'll give you a tip. Generally speaking, the higher up you go in an organization, the more you'll want to talk about aspirations, because these people are all about growth and market share and becoming the biggest player in their industry. That's what you want to focus on. And the third factor you want to focus on is risk. Particularly, you want to minimize risk. The risk of doing the project, the risk of working with you, the risk of working with your company. Those are all risks you want to be conscious of and you want to focus on. Number 3, I know there's this rule that says that salespeople should be doing 70% listening and only 30% talking. Maybe that's true in most cases, but when you're sitting down with a senior person, they expect you to deliver value. They don't just expect you to ask a bunch of questions and then take a lot of notes. They expect you to share from your experience. Bring up case studies, bring up stories of how you were able to help clients in the past. Give intelligent suggestions or scenarios around how you'll be able to help them with their situation. This is what we at Rain Group call advocacy and inquiry, and balancing both. You really want to be doing a lot of inquiry, a lot of asking questions, and again, having some good questions before you walk into the room is a great idea, but you definitely want to be doing some advocacy as well. You want to show that you are a senior person who knows the industry, who knows their stuff, and that you can deliver value to them. And here's something for you to think about. The very fact that you're in the room with them means they're probably interested in what you're selling. All right, moving on. Number 4 is you want to determine a clear next step at the end of the meeting. Now, most salespeople do one of 2 things or one of 3 things. They either do nothing, so there's no next step and it's unclear what's going to happen. They ask the client, well, what would you like to do next? Or they do the opposite and they say, here's what I'd like to do next. Now, this is one of my super secret tips that I learned many years ago, which is senior executives, senior people love making decisions. They make decisions all day. They love it. And they're typically very good at it. So what you want to do is you want to throw out like 2 or 3 scenarios and you want to ask them for their opinion. Now, don't be surprised if you say, you know what, here's what we can do next. Number 1 is this, number 2 is that, and number 3 is that. Don't be surprised if they take some element of number 1 and then maybe one of number 3 and they come up with a whole new solution. Guess what? great job. Why? Because now not only have they made the choice and they have the, quote unquote power, but also they're now invested in it because it's their choice. They proposed it. It's their proposal or suggestion, which means that when the next step comes, they're going to be that much more committed to actually making it happen. Now, the fifth and final step is to follow up as you've agreed, and if you can, to over deliver. If you told them it will be a week, get back to them in 3 days. If you told them you were going to send through a proposal, and 2 case studies. Do whatever you can to over deliver, because here's another secret. The way you act and behave in the room, in the sales process, gives them an idea of what it's going to be like to work with you in your company. Time and time again, I've seen the way the salesperson acts and behaves to have a disproportionate influence on the decision that senior executives make when they're in the room behind closed doors and they talk in confidence about why they chose one company versus the other. So if you like this and you want more tips on winning the complex sale, very easy. The only thing to do is just hit subscribe on my YouTube channel, or there will be a button somewhere here on the page where you can hit subscribe and you'll automatically get notified whenever one of these new videos goes live. Hopefully this was useful. Go out, use these 5 tips. That's what they're for. Hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.